Yeah. Okay. So you spawned like two juicy ideas in my head when you were saying that stuff. Okay. The first one, and now I've lost it. I gotta explain the power one. Okay. Power makes his contract with Denji at the end of part one. And it's like, what if the horsemen don't know each other, but they know like their scent or like their presence because they're just that strong? But you're right. What if Death, you know, I don't want to say died, right? Like, okay, Makima died. She went to hell, got reincarnated, turned into Nayuta. Nayuta only knows of Makima and all that stuff because she like used her abilities to, you know, read Denji's mind, right? What if these horsemen, minus Death, at some point, like Makima, died and they just were reincarnated? And yeah, maybe that's why Yoru couldn't really remember Fami and she couldn't recognize her because, like, well, wait, I think I know her presence. I literally don't remember her because, like, it wasn't me. It was another war devil. It was another famine devil, right? And now, look how this correlation is going to come back full circle. That's a fucking mic drop. An exclusive right here, No Operators channel. Now, in part one, Power told Denji, when I die, we're not going to remember each other. The new Blood Devil's not going to remember you. But here's the fucking loophole. Let's make a contract. Find the Blood Devil, convince them that they are me or whatever, or turn them back into me, and that's how I can come back. So what if through the Power subplot, this is also going to reveal why the horsemen couldn't really recognize each other, or this is going to answer the question you just presented to me, right?
It's interesting to me, and I just thought about it now, that Death did show up before Famine in general, because we know, again, the order that the four horsemen are supposed to show up in. And it almost seems like Death picked Famine because she knew, hey, Famine's not going to be here for another month or so. I can show up as Famine, and I know she's not going to be able to call me out on it because she's not going to appear until it's too late anyway. So it is interesting to me, the Nostradamus prophecy and how that fits into everything too. Because if Death, why did Death? If this was Death the whole time, why did she arrive so early? How was she able to do that? And what the fuck is the prophecy at all in general if it was this wrong off base to begin with?
Yeah, and I wonder if we go to the Falling Devil arc, and we now know that Fami was Death. She was trying to get rid of Yoru. She summoned the Falling Devil to have the real Justice Devil consume war so that she could control her, right? Because Nayuta's like, you just tried to kill your sister. And she's like, well, I just needed her in the belly of the Justice Devil so I can control her, because it'd just be easier to control her that way. Now, she almost had a 2-for-1 and threw Denji in there in the mix as well, right? Yeah. So let's hypothetically pretend that the Justice Devil or the Falling Devil was successful in, weakening, Asa and Denji enough, and the Justice Devil consumed Chainsaw Man and Yoru. What was now Death going to do with those two, right? Because now they're just weakened versions of whatever her ultimate plan was. And because it did come, because her plan was foiled, now when you look at like the Aging Devil arc, or no, even the Church of Chainsaw Man, it's like, okay, well, controlling them didn't work. So how about now I summon the homie, the Fire Devil, to make contracts with 300,000 people to make the Fire Devil stronger, but simultaneously make the concept of war and chainsaw really strong as well. So it's like, if I can't control them, let me just beef them up for something we don't fucking know yet, right? Like, this is what I'm getting so giddy about. It's like, so what the fuck is the age of the prophecy? I thought it was going to be Yoru was the bad guy all along. Oh, how did we miss this? She was here just like Makima. No, Death was fucking here all along too. So, and it seems like Fami and Death definitely knows what is going to come. Yoru has some ulterior motive, right? Like, I think she just wants to see the world burn like the Joker, whatever. But then what's the prophecy about? I don't know. I don't know. That's the part that, I'm just still, I'm at a loss of words.
At the end of the day, I do think the whole idea that there are all these devils, that have been forgotten, like it, and especially now that we've already had one again identity theft like moment, like it's not out of the question for that to occur. And also one thing that I've been thinking about is it's interesting how we don't really, now that we have the reveal of Death and we have the Famine Devil, I'm really interested to see what their relationship, quote unquote, what their perspective on Pochita is, right? Because Makima comes away, they had their big battle, Pochita gets injured, meets Denji, that's how the whole series starts. Makima comes away from that, becoming public safety's dog, and basically almost like falling, like not in love, but like becoming obsessed with the idea of Chainsaw Man, the hero of hell, this, crazy things where she wants to have that, and she wants to have a family, all that stuff, blah, blah, blah. Yoru comes away from that hating Chainsaw Man, resenting him, having a grudge, and wanting nothing more than to get powerful enough to take him down and destroy him. I'm interested to see how Famine feels about, about Pochita, and also interested to see what connection, if there really is this connection between, again, Chainsaw Man cutting down trees, which humans ultimately come into, Chainsaw Man devouring the 4 other solutions to life, because this whole other solutions to life thing, like, how powerful were those devils in reference to death, right? If they were like, were those other solutions to life as powerful as death? Was Pochita at his prime able to defeat devils that strong? And again, if we got Makima's what I'm getting at this ultimately is we got Makima's interpretation of why Pochita and them got into a big battle with the Horsemen. We got, who's to say why that battle actually happened? If Makima was blinded, like, what if, again, this is me just getting into crazy headcanon and theory, just because but like, what if, again, there is some kind of connection between Pochita and death? What if Pochita ate these other solutions to life so death could be the only, you know what I mean? I don't know. I don't know what I'm ultimately saying, or if I'm just talking out of my ass, but like, I guess, it's really interesting where the hell Fujimoto could take this, since this is such a crazy development in the story.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think that's too far-fetched. That's been a correlation I think a lot of people have been putting or been trying to piece, right? Like, we have to think about like these concepts and the things that they're adjacent towards, right? So like, okay, the Fire Devil is like all about, flames, right? But then why is there like a flamethrower hybrid, and what makes the flamethrower specifically like one of these 7 powerful devils, right? When you also have like bombs and katanas and etc. So what I'm trying to get at though with that is like, okay, we have the concept of death, and I guess if we were making this like an olive branch and root tree, right, a family tree, like Pochita definitely falls under that category. So what else could fall under that category as well, right? And and that's what makes the fake Chainsaw Man, to me anyway, more interesting, because like, if now the fake Chainsaw Man is stemming, as of right now, I really do like the idea that like he was spawned from the fear of the popularity of Denji and Chainsaw Man, right? And that's how we got fake Chainsaw Man. So what kind of properties and powers does it have? But then now again, this is the Game of Thrones family tree, right? But now this devil made a contract with the Justice Devil, who's really the Fire Devil, right? So like, it's like there's something there. I just don't know how to piece it or eloquently say it as well, right? Like, that's why I'm a little bamboozled too. I'm like, okay, now my head is just starting to hurt thinking about this stuff. But I like that idea that there's some type of relationship between Pochita and death, just from the concept of erasure and not existing and all that stuff. So it's dude, I don't know where the fuck the story's gonna go. I'm like so excited now. I think a lot of people are reinvigorated. I wanted to say something a little bit earlier that I didn't have a chance to touch upon when you were talking about like Makima and how she was the big bad in part 1. I think because it's hard to trick people twice. Have you ever seen Westworld?
I've seen season 1 and like 2-3 episodes of season 2, but I know most. Go ahead. You don't have to worry about spoiler or anything.
No. It's just that whenever you get to that big spoiler of like who some of these characters are, right? Like what ended up happening with Westworld season 2 is that because the audience were so, caught off guard with that huge twist in season 1, now they are definitely paying attention way more for the events in part 2. And what happened with part 2, and again, it's not really to give too much into spoilers, but because the showrunners knew that the audience is now smarter because of that,
they changed it, right?
Purposely made the show more convoluted for no fucking reason, right? It's like, guys, you made it too confusing when we all kind of already saw the twist coming, or we could have like formulated it a little bit better, but like, now to the detriment of you trying to deceive us, it made the show suffer. Yeah. So what I'm trying to get at is that I love how this community thought we were so smart, thinking, Makima was a control devil. If someone got that right away, congratulations. But now I truly feel bad for the anime onlys that, when they get into part 2 and they see the introduction of Fami at the school, before reviving Yuko into that big octopus thing. I hate that now, like, this moment we had as the community is going to be almost stripped, because there's going to be a lot of people that are like, well, that's actually death. Don't worry, right? Like,
again, it makes me think about the forgotten devils and the ones that have been lost in a race to time, because it really does make you think, like, Fujimoto really would be able to come out of the gates here, or at least he has the potential to. Not saying, this is all just speculation. We really don't know what's going to happen, but Fujimoto really could come out of the gate here, like you said, and introduce, hey, the Nostradamus prophecy, death leads to, again, some devil that has been forgotten to time, that humans don't even know about anymore, because or again, who's to say that it was ever eaten by Chainsaw Man to begin with? It's just something that humans don't even understand, almost like a Lovecraftian thing where humans are unable to even understand the concept of what comes after death. Like, what is a devil that would be more feared and more powerful than death? Honestly, maybe there isn't one. Maybe it is. Maybe she is the apocalypse. But it's also possible that, maybe humans misinterpreted Nostradamus' prophecy entirely. Everyone put all of this strain and all of this, evil, and we have to stop the death devil. We have to stop the death devil. When in reality, death has been on our side this entire time, trying to take herself out and trying to stop, like you said, who knows, whatever the fuck could be coming when the apocalypse or whatever, the fall or whatever, when it happens. Again, it could just be death, but the gates are open for and Fujimoto could literally, like, at the end of the day, like, even if he, like, introduced, like, this is the fucking symbol, gibberish symbol, blah 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 devil, and it's like, and he doesn't even give it a name, like, and it's just an all-powerful being. Like, I can't even say that I would be mad at that point, like, because I'd be like, okay, Fujimoto, you're kind of cooking here, like again, that's a very off the wall, out of left field shit, but again, we literally could not even begin to speculate what will actually happen and what Fujimoto is actually going to put together here, because of how crazy this all is.
Yeah, because it was almost too easy when we were pivoting to the perspective of, like, Yoru makes not the contract, but she tells Denji, like, hey, defeat death, and and then Asa says, like, in that same chapter or the previous chapter, like, no, like, Yoru has something big and bad happening. Because that was so easy for me to say, and I think I said it in our last stream together, that, like, I love that the hybrids, there are these powerful weapons that Makima like served, right? Or Makima controlled. And what is Yoru's angle, right? Like, grabbing these powerful devils, turning them into weapons. It's like, well, what says a better weapon than a fucking hybrid / weapons devil itself, right? And I'm like, oh shit, like, we're gonna have, like, Yoru go, like, Shang Tsung style, like, absorb all these motherfuckers, make her like this ultimate, like, big badass war person, somehow get nuke, and then Yoru is the big bad. But it's like,
we already saw the fucking gun goddess, so
yeah, sheesh. Like, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, dude, that's, oh man, it's so awesome, right? So that's what I'm saying. It's like, okay, well, we also know, I think, well, I don't want to say we also know, I think it would just be silly if the weapons were omitted from this final battle, right? Like, we need all of them, right? For better and for worse. And then again, that of course teases like, hey, is Reze gonna come back? Yes or no? Come on, you know. But I'm just as dumbfounded. I know I've been saying that a lot too, but I don't know where the hell the story's gonna go now. But I think a reread is definitely in order. I did see someone say, because I did want to talk on this, they were asking your thoughts on Nayuta being alive.
Oh, thank you for that. I'm sorry, I haven't been checking my chat.
No, it's fine. Let me just quickly say, a lot of people were saying like, okay, Fami absorbed the life of like the ants, absorbed the life force, the nutrients of that guy, and that's how she became a thing, right? So Fami's concept of like absorbing the life, right, via famine and all this stuff, nutrients, etc. Her powers make sense.
Yep.
But now that we know that, death was death the entire time, if we recall back to the battle that Asa had with Yuko, how does death resurrecting someone have to do with her powers, right? Like Fami's makes sense to me, right? I'm going to absorb the nutrients out of you because I'm hungry, I'm famine, whatever.
Yeah.
That's how I regenerate. What does death resurrecting Yuko mean? Or like how does that correlate with her powers, right? Because you can probably say this whole like rebirth of life and death, etc. But wouldn't you think what Fami's powers were? Right? Again, just 2 chapters ago, it's like, obviously, this is death, right?
Yeah.
She touches things, they die. This is death, right? But we saw death resurrect Yuko, and now this is bringing up this question of Nayuta coming back, right? Like, if Nayuta did seemingly die, because they confirmed it in the Volume 20 cover, right? That, like, Nayuta died in the Church of Chainsaw Man, right? During those riots. Well, despite her being served on a platter, I mean, why wouldn't death resurrect her if she definitely did it with Yuko?
Yeah, I really do wonder if it because the thing is it could be just as simple as the starving power. That's what I think she explained it as the first time. Obviously we know that's not true. It could have everything to do with just the fact that she just has control over all devils. That because it makes me think the way that Yoru was so easily able to just immediately subjugate Gun and Tank. These are my children. They are, and we kind of even mentioned it even a little bit before, where you were like, the Fire Devil, how does the Fire Devil then have is it like a smaller subsection of the Flamethrower Devil? Like, is the Flamethrower Devil technically just a subspecies of the original Fire Devil? Like, and I wonder, is there really like a family tree, like almost a hierarchy to devils? We know the Death Devil is above all else. We know the Primal Fear is like, what if that hierarchy is genuinely like Yoru is able to subjugate any weapons that technically stem from her as the whole war? So Gun Devil, Tank Devil, things that are born out of war, she's able to subjugate them. What if, and you think about it, Guillotine, the Guillotine Devil, the Falling Devil, like what if it is something that simple where she is just able to control all devils that have to do with death? You die when you fall. You die from the guillotine. I wonder if it could be something as simple as that, or like you said, does it have to do with her devil power? Is it like resurrection? Is it completely ironic that the Death Devil's power is just resurrection? It actually, the Death Devil ironically is the Life Devil, but is just called the Death. It could also be that. But I do think, that Pokeball little starving thing where she's like able to bring people back to life, or she's able to, condense devils into smaller beings and then, quote unquote, resurrect them from their things. I do think, I wonder if those things are intertwined or together. And I'm trying to remember when Yuko was reborn. I completely I completely forgot that.
Yeah. Because Asa defeated her, right? With like the sword or whatever, right? Like she chopped her up into all these pieces.
You're right. She does. You're right. I'm sorry. I remember now. For some reason I was thinking of, you were saying she was reborn after Fake Saw killed her, but now I know what you're talking about. That's what the miss was. Now you're right. Yes, Fami does bring her back to life when Yeah.
And that was the introduction of death for the very first time. She's like, I'll do anything for my little sister. And a lot of people are like, oh shit, this is another horseman. Look at the eyes, look at the earrings, right? Like kind of like the scale, right?
I wonder if it then is to the devil contract or whatever. I don't know, really. I really don't know. That's an interesting question now. Yeah.
You know what though? But now it got me thinking. We found out in the prison that she can, summon these devils, but they are at a fraction of their powers. What if the weakness with death, right? Like the double-edged sword with her crazy power, right? Like summoning Falling and Gilly, right? Is that they are quite literally a husk of themselves, just like death, right? Like, yeah, they're not as powerful because they are like, there's just not a lot going on with them. They are quite literally like some zombie type thing, right? Not truly like a zombie devil, but a shell of their former glory. Right, and that really plays onto the idea of like death is quite literally a husk herself.
Yeah, it's almost like it makes me think like I just got like such a brain blast, almost like it makes me think of almost the angel devil, where like just touching him was like it would sap your life away. Like I wonder if it's similar to that, but almost like life steal, like death devil literally steals life from the things that she touches and then can give that life to other things. But like you mentioned, it's not fully like when you're resurrected, like you're not back to 100%, you're back to 80, and then if let's say this person dies again and she revives them again, then you're back to 50%. Like it's almost like she can't bring you back to 100%, but she can still, take that stored life. And, even that sounds weird. It could be anything, but it's almost like what if it is like something like life steal where she's able to store that power, or who knows? It could be so many different things.
Okay, so hold on. Now I'm thinking about something else too. So you talked about Angel and how Angel's powers like zapped the life, right? Remember when Makima like shot that beam, right? It was like Angel's powers. It was like a 500
She's like 1,000 years, and she shot that fucking laser beam at Pochita.
Yeah. But what were those fucking people? Weren't they like kind of like headless zombie looking people?
And it like opened like a portal to space triangle almost, where the beam almost fired from. Like it literally was like.
Yeah. Dude, now, okay, is this a stretch to say, could we see some type of like reborn again angel devil? Right? Because how can we have this prophecy of the age of devils and not have like these creatures from heaven intervene as well? But like, not in the way of like good versus bad. Think of Bayonetta, if you ever played Bayonetta, where like, oh, like here's like the good angels.
Yeah, it's reverse.
But they're like fucking corrupt people,
Oh,
so like,
party, yay, let's go.
Yeah. Dude, what the hell is going on in Discord right now? No idea what the hell's going on.
Dude, Zoom shit. Like we're in a Zoom meeting at work. Like literally, that's what happens. Crazy.
Yeah. But you see what I'm saying? Like now I wonder if there's something going on with that where it's like, oh shit, like we can't have this Nostradamus prophecy without having like these higher up beings. And if Angel was the introduction of this, now we get more of these things. But I mean, who knows, man?
I'm sorry to I know you also have to go soon at the end of the day because we're coming up on the extra 20 minutes, but it makes me even wonder, like, obviously, like, I don't think we would get, like, the Antichrist devil, but, like, isn't Nostradamus's prophecy quite literally, like, this faker comes out, it's fake, they come out, and then they reveal themselves. It's so funny, too, because, holy shit, like, are you familiar with, like, the real Nostradamus's prophecy?
No, I don't remember anymore.
Okay. So it is a real thing essentially. And where Nostradamus predicted three potential ends of the world, three potential antichrists that are going to rise. Why Nostradamus's prophecy is so popular is because people actually believe that he was right on 2 out of his 3 prophecies, and the third one has yet to come true. He also has like thousands of other prophecies that have not come true, but like these are the 3 that everyone harps on, they're the most popular. Because one of the main theories is basically almost to a T describing Napoleon and his attempt to conquest and take over the world. He failed.
Okay.
The second prophecy is almost to a T. Again, it's an all interpretation. It's not to a T. This is whatever, but these are these people. But you can allude to these people. Number 2 was Hitler. And then the third one is the Antichrist that will appear supposedly in our generation. There'll be a fake person that comes preaching good things, preaching that they're going to save everyone and help everyone. And then they're going to reveal at the end of the day that they were actually faking everything and that they were setting up the apocalypse behind everyone's eyes and fooling everyone. So it's almost so funny to me that, like, literally the Death Devil was this person who was trying to help this whole time and ended up being this fake person. But so again, like, it's also possible that, like, if the Death Devil, what if the Death Devil, again, going through a theory of is like, what if there's a fifth horseman? What if there is someone that comes after it? So I don't know. This twist is fucking awesome. Yeah, there's so many. I can't believe I just had thought of that and realized how much the real Nostradamus' prophecy played into what Fujimoto did.
Yeah, well, you know, this was something well, I don't want to say we, but like I thought about in the beginning of part 2 of like, okay, you know, Makima was the big bad, and now, you know, she kind of teased her other siblings, right? And we have the 4 horsemen, but who do the 4 horsemen listen to? Right?
Yeah,
because they're their own like badass people, but they're, you know, they're like an entourage, right? Like I would assume they're kind of like the you know, Black Myth Wukong, you know,
Charlie's Angels. Who's
like,
Charlie though?
Yeah, like, who, yeah. Thank you. Wow, that's so funny. They're Charlie's Angels. Who the fuck is Charlie? So yeah,
man. All we can really do is just wait. You know, all we can really do is just wait and see what Fujimoto blesses us with, because. I mean, like, we could talk about this for probably. I was thinking this coming into this, like, damn, are we really gonna be able to talk for like an hour or something about this? And here we are. Like, I'm sure we could go for another hour. Like, it's just there's so much to talk about.
I know. And we didn't. Well, I don't know if you answered the question. I think now at this point, because of like what we know, I think Nayuta will come back.
Oh yeah, we completely lost the plot. Yeah, no, Nayuta, she might come back as a different control devil or something else. But I think I think she is truly dead. I think the mole being the only proof we have, the not being there being the only proof we have of her still being alive and it being a fake head is just not enough for me. If she ends up being alive and it was like a fraud, cool, that's awesome. But like, it's not enough for me to stake a belief that she's still alive, personally.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I think she's gone, but I think she's going to be the zombified thing that we've seen now teased with Falling, with Gilly, and now we will get. And keep in mind too, Nayuta was trying to convince Denji too, like, hey, why do we listen to humans? Like, let's just do whatever the fuck we want, right? So like, Nayuta at a young age was pretty much on track with what death was kind of already all about, right? And Yoru as well, right? Like, hey, devils are selfish, we can do whatever we want. So what if now, again, like the morals are kind of stripped, right? The teachings that Denji taught her through this zombified resurrection via death. And someone even threw this crazy fucking theory, which now I'm like, oh, I don't think it's completely bullshit. Someone is like, the whole thing we got with aging, and how aging is like, I want to make Denji and Asa grow up and mature a bit. What if this crazy can theory of Nayuta being resurrected, she's somehow thrown in that aging devil dimension to quite literally grow up, and she becomes this Makima 2.0 person? Right?
Oh my god, that'd be fucking insane. Bro, you know what you just made me think about? Like, holy crap, like who's to say that like you said, because we just had that conversation with Denji and Yoru talking about, oh well, you know, well, Denji's like, will Nayuta be there? No, she's probably a new control devil. Oh, I guess, you know, I had this contract with Power, but, you know, I guess she's probably someone new entirely too. Like, just like, how crazy would it be? This probably isn't true, but like with the way that almost every shonen ends nowadays, like, how crazy would it be if like Denji, Death are fighting and she goes, oh, by the way, plop, and then she pulls out like Power or fucking something like crazy like that. Like, here's the Blood Devil, like here's Nayuta as, like I said, the zombified half power fucking, you know, weapon that I can use, and also like here's Power, like, by the way, like, remember how you were saying you were never gonna meet them again? Here they are, Denji, but now they're mine, and you have to kill them. Like, that would be, or fucking Aki, he has to kill Aki again. Good lord.
Yeah. Look, we can
Wait.
ramble. I do have to get going.
I got you, brother. I
But
got you.
I love this conversation. I'm sure a lot of people are they'll be in cahoots with us rambling what we just rambled about. So
Hell yeah, brother. Thank you so much for coming by. I genuinely appreciate it. Thanks for hitting me up. I know you got to go, so I won't keep you any longer. Your channel's in the description. If you want to shout anything out, go ahead, but I'll let you go.
Yeah. Of course, I do have a merch store called Nen Garden. You guys can see. Let me go ahead and whip this out. My Chainsaw versus War playmat. Use Fumiko for 48% off. And I mean, check this out. I mean, this is one of the coolest things I put out. So
It is fire. It is fire. Link is in the chat, guys.
yeah. So. But beyond that, thank you guys. It was a blast. And dude, we'll see where Fujimoto goes. Look, the moment we see Kishibe in power, I mean, I think we may have to hop on again too.
110%. I was gonna say, yeah, we'll definitely do this again soon. The next time we get a generational chapter like this. But please enjoy the rest of your night, brother.
Thank you. All right, man. Take care.
You too. Be good.